stop. And these wider team fights break out. It's just morph into Razor and static link Sven. There's still no clear answer for that. That is still the deadliest thing that could happen to Azure in these fights. I love this one too. It's spooky. We've got spooky spiders, Mike. We've got a lot of stuff going on.
Ramses will drop a love heart, which is somewhat anticlimactic from Ramses, but it is indeed very, very spooky here. Not so much for me, Jonathan. I come from Australia, so this is another day for me. Maybe for Tundra. In fact, that's what we're lacking. ESO 1 Australia. ESO 1 Sydney, to be exact. That's what we need, Jonathan.
That'd be sick. That would be very sick. There would be a lot of 2 weeks.
Don't even bring up Melbourne. I know there's some Melbourne dude probably saying, no, it should be Melbourne. No, no, no. ESO 1 Sydney. It'll be great, trust me.
How about ESL Outback? Just take us out in the middle of the desert. No water, no shade. You have to win to get water. Your wins aid your survival in the Outback.
Yeah, I mean, I never said anything.
Battle Royale.
I never said anything.
Dota2.
I never said anything about hotels, John. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
You show up to play. That's about it.
Throw them in the Outback.
Nothing else has happened. Tiebreakers, we'll just get them to fight a kangaroo. Whatever happens, happens. Disruption. Lowe's going to go for a bit of a run, try and chase down 9 class topside. Just gives them a little bit of a whack on the backside, nothing too much. Tips out from 9 class as well. Is going to be a 3-for-1 trade on the bounty runes for Tundra's end of things. So a nice start here for the boys on Tundra. And of course, let's start with the mid lane, shall we, John? You've got Thompson playing Mid-Nature's Prophet against Ori's Razor. I would ask you how this matchup's meant to go, John, but I doubt you know the answer to it. Well, oh, hold on a minute. 9 class. Never mind, Johnny had a great block going there. Go on.
Yep. I think this matchup isn't as bad for the NP as you'd expect. It's a very confined lane, so there's some good sprout angles for Thompson to take to cut off Ori when he does go for the static link. Again, Ori's main play is going to be Plasma Field. This kind of sucks for Razor because he is not a Quelling Blade user. So once he's out of tangos, the Sprout will be annoying. And look at this, Thompson threatening with teleportation damage just onto Ori. It's the psychological warfare aspect. And also, again, he can show up in side lanes. They don't have to rotate onto mid. It's a Razor. Do you really want to jump that? No, you can jump elsewhere. And that's what I want to see from Thompson. We'll see if that is something that can come out. Again, for Ori, this is going to suck because once he's out of tangos, the Sprout is just a major threat. And even though he is going Plasma Field for poke, it's not like you have Treants to farm. Mid NP is not going to go for Nature's Call there at all. So he's pretty happy here on Thompson.
It's kind of the thing as well for Ori. Like, he wants to rush the bottle first before he does go for the Quelling Blade, but feels like you just need to get the Quelling first. But he does indeed buy the bottle out. So we'll see if it does pay off for him. Of course, down at bottom lane, you've got Whitemon and Pure against FY and Buck. So what kind of impact Buck's going to have on this Broodmother? Like, we have not seen as much Brood as of late, probably for very good reason. Does feel like Pure should have a pretty easy time farming, at the very least. I can't imagine they really threaten his life too much on the mall.
Not too badly. There is some kill threat if they get out of position on the side of Tundra, but it's hard to see that happening. Pure has some good spacing thanks to Whitemon, just getting some cheap harass out with the right clicks and the sticky bombs. FY, Tiny's a very greedy support, does need a lot of EXP, doesn't have a pullback opportunity either. So he's just kind of stuck camping the lane, soaking off of Bach. And that's all you could ask for here from Tundra. As long as they don't manage to start to isolate with some plays here. Hold on, FY.
Yeah, nice blast off here from Whitemon. FY trying to move in for a cheeky little avalanche, taking so much damage now, and he is going to go down. Whitemon able to secure first blood on the techies, and Bach sadly is unable to trade here on the Broodmama. In fact, he even loses his courier to make matters worse, so his tango's going to be about a minute away now.
Yeah, it's not going to feel good for Bach. He can always rely on tower regen with a web regen as well, so it's not going to be too bad. But you're already, again, getting everything you'd want here from Pure. It's not the best lane for our Tiny, not the freest lane to soak up on. And take a look at the other lanes. Of course, up top, you've got Lo and Tianming, along with Ramses and 9 class. And this one is a little bit boring. This is probably the most boring lane there is. Breed Fire onto Sven, stop him from farming, or at least farming as hard. He still has a great cleave for cheap harassment, but it's not enough to shove Ramses away either. This is the most static lane out of all them. And the best thing you can hope for is trying to block each other's camps, maybe slow down Chanming from rotating, but beyond that, this is, again, the slowest lane to watch out for.
Oh, Bark's going to go down now. Thompson rotating over on the Nature's Prophet, and I suppose this is one thing you can't really forget about, right? Like, Thompson at any moment could join his team with a teleportation and already making pretty damn good use of it.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see. That's the question I was asking myself. Will Thompson rotate early? And he does answer. He will. It's a lot of damage early on with that teleportation. Again, he's getting some good blockage out with the Sprout, so Ori's not able to really maximize the static link either, and he's still controlling the lane decently well. He's not that far behind in CS despite rotating away. So you're happy times so far for the side of Tundra.
Almost a blast off to fly out from Whitemon, but he does cancel it off in the end because he was out of range. Bark's desperately trying for the pull away, but he's... Oh boy, he lost aggro. It's kind of the thing with the webs. You can go over the tree line, but the creeps do lose vision. So Bark's having a few issues pulling aggro away as well. And he's basically finding nothing in this lane. 12 CS right now. It's only getting worse. Thompson's incoming. Voice lines him immediately, and Bark is probably just down, as they have got him. Whitemon will finish the job off. This bottom lane is an absolute disaster for Azure. I mean, it really doesn't get much worse than this. Thompson, though, mid lane, being static linked up by Ori, but he has 9 class right behind him if necessary. So Tianming going to show up. Going to try and go on to the edge. Thompson still trying to run. Does get a Sprout off. The chase is still ongoing. Thompson still alive. There's no Acorn shot to throw at either, or rather Siege shot. So he's all right. Tianming, the one to go down, is now Ori trying to run, but it's only getting worse. It is only getting worse, Jonathan. 9 class with a double kill on the Shadow Team.
I mean, I understand why Ori goes for this, again, plasma field centered build, but he went for the value point in Storm Surge as well. So level 1 static link, even if you land it for long, on Thompson, it's not enough damage being sapped away. This NP still can slap back with the 2 circlets and the power treads already up. I mean, he does have decent right-click trades, so Thompson just holding his ground, forcing that deep movement out from Chanming, provides the opportunities for Tundra to collapse onto that mid lane. They're getting so much value out of this NP mid. Again, you can afford to get this movement out because you've got lanes that can be left alone. Like, there's no threat onto the Morphling for Pure. He even just leaves attribute shift at 1. Doesn't need the flash shifting around. He knows he's fairly secure when everyone's down mid. Ramses on the DK is just not going to die, of course, up against the Sven. So you can just play off the back of this NP. 9 class
should be going down here. And does. Tianming with a nice little solo pick-off for himself on the edge. It's just that bottom lane I get very concerned about for Azure. Like, you really want Bark to be able to set tempo here on the Broodmother, but with the start he's had, it's just going to be a lot of catch-up farm, it feels like, for a while here for the Brood. And of course, Pure has just farmed freely. Like 38 and 15 in CS from the Morphling. The perfect start for himself. Thompson's rotating. Where's he going? Down towards the bot lane again. They're going to find FY. They found both Wisdom Runes on top. And this mid-prophet is just causing all kinds of havoc.
Yeah, I love that Thompson's bringing it out as well as the new patch rolls out. So it's like, you see it today, you realize its power, and you're probably not going to be able to run it again unless NP actually gets buffed instead. So that's good tone. I think, thinking about the patch, staying away from the game, I feel like Tundra's probably one of the scarier teams. Because again, they are going to playoffs no matter what. A new patch, I feel like, just emboldens the side of Tundra. Still a fantastic start, 6-1. You are finding some free farm coming in for low. He does have jungle access lined up, but it will take a little bit more for the spend. They will find 9 class at least.
Yeah, 9 class has no way out of this, so a nice little pick up for Ori on the Razor. Bark, bottom lane, dies again. Pure on Whitemon, just bullying the Broodmothers. Ori's going to rotate, but can do nothing about the TP. Whitemon is perfectly fine. It's 7-2 now. I mean, the one saving grace is really just the fact that Low is farming freely on the Sven. But in fairness, Tundra do not seem concerned whatsoever about that.
I don't know if you should be at all. Again, you have a Razor to morph into for Pure. So even with all of that farm of Low, you can still just static link him in the middle. Plus Breed Fire. Like, Low is not going to have damage with Static Link and Breed Fire debuff on him. There's just no way he can get the hits off, even with God's Strand up.
Top
I
lane.
think that confidence is justified.
Tianming, Sprout, it's going to land, but he will be able to chop through the tree line with his own Quelling Blade. So this time the TP from Topson's not going to amount to too much. They are still going to try and apply pressure though onto that top tier 1 tower. It's going to be a lot of pressure as well, even without the dragon from Ramses, though he will have it up in 1 second. Not even popping it yet. There you go. He'll go for a bit of a chase onto Tianming.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So the end should be okay, but there is really no defending this top tier 1 tower. It's just as good as dead. There's 9 class on Whitemon still chasing down Tianming. He'll try for a TP play out, and he's going to make it. Though mid lane, Topson in trouble. Ori, NFY, diving the Prophet. He's got no helping coming. Topson is down.
Yeah, they do manage to punish. They read that movement now on Azure. FY just camping by the tier 1, knowing that with no kill, Topson's going to head back to farm, play a little greedy. They do get the punish. I love that Topson just hides in his tree as well, right before dying, and wants the comfort of his own little saplings. Doesn't save him though.
They're trying for the Morphling, but there's just no way. There's just no way to kill this guy, I don't think.
No.
Pure will be okay. FY was wrapping around, but even if he did land an Avalanche Toss, it definitely wouldn't have been enough. And so, Tundra back to the farm game for themselves. Again, Azure, props to them. They are showing signs of life now throughout this, well, after this laning stage, rather. As, you know, finding the kills on Topson's always going to feel really nice. As FY... Oh, he's looking as good as dead here, FY. Mine's down, he'll take him out, but it won't matter. Buck's going to show up at the very least, trying to chase down Whitemon with these Spiderlings, and he does get him. So a nice little trade coming out from Buck. Some gold that he desperately needed.
Yes, something that the Broodmother certainly needs, especially if they want to scale up, get an Orchid to get these pickoffs onto Pure. That should start to set the tone. Keen to see if that is something Bach will want to pick up, or if he's going to go back for the Aura build, start to sustain and just play split push. It is open enough for the Broodmother in terms of trying to build in either direction. I think the one thing Azure is lacking is like stacks. They do have the Mask of Madness up on low, but they don't really have fast stacks for the Spin to go into. Just forced to play top, dip in and out of jungle. You're smoking up with Ori and FY. No blink just yet in Tiny, still 700 gold off. But they know Pure is always left alone here, so it's time to punish.
I mean, they're going to give it a crack. Again, I think it's going to be a rather difficult task, considering you can always bring Topson in whenever. He still has his bottom tier 1 tower as well, so you've got the TP points available to help out if Pure does require the help. He's actually going on to Bark right now, or he's going to move in. Waveform is on cooldown for 2 seconds. Pure, still just strength morphing, is going to be okay for now. They'll toss him up, but it just does nothing. Pure is fine. This is kind of my thing. Like, I just don't see how you lock him down long enough to get the damage up.
They need the Orchid. Bach is queuing it up. He is going for that utility. But without it, yeah, Pure is just really, really safe. Just not enough to burst. They will at least find a tier 1 bot for their trouble. So they will equalize map control a little bit, have a little bit of an edge with the mid gun as well from earlier shove. But I don't think Tundra, again, it doesn't feel like they care.
Chases on from Topson. He'll block the way. Very, very nice Sprout placement, just not allowing him to Quelling Blade his way out. Whitemon will secure the kill himself on the techies. He's already got that annoying Witch's Blade now on the Prophet. The damage output is relatively high when it comes to the Prophet. As Pure now even just taking down Ori down to that bottom lane, just kind of making it look easy.
Yep. Finding all the damage. Really good. Using the Rat of Nature from Topson to bounce around the creeps as well. Just a little bit by the camps. I believe that was the usage for it, leading into that pickoff. Azure, I mean, again, considering the scoreline of 10-4, you're only about 1k behind. It's not as bad as it could be. The hurting point is Bach, who really needs this Orchid to get some action onto Pure. And even then, this Orchid's going to line up with a Manta timing on Pure anyway. So I don't know if you will still be able to pin down that Morphling with how slow this is for Bach. Which again, it's just down to how rough this lane was with Topson's rotations, which he's looking at again.
He certainly is. Bottom lane, Bach just being bullied this game will go down another time. And it's kind of the nature of the Brood as well. Like, you do require a decent laning stage to really start to take off. With the amount of kills in the horrible laning stage Bach has had, Like, he's 1-4-0 right now. I kind of doubt the impact will ever come at this stage.
Yeah, it's hard to see it. I think he just needs so much room, and there's just not enough room when you have a Razor and a Sven also farming up. There's no way you can just shove out these waves for free as well. Tundra instantly going for the smoke play out. See if this hunt lands on something. We're looking at top with Thompson.
Oh, Low gets caught out immediately. He did not have a Quelling Blade. It was actually on cooldown, of all things. I guess he just chopped the tree on his way in, and well, Low is going to have to pay for it as Pure will take the kill now. Complete and utter domination so far for the side of Tundra. And with Low going down, I mean, that's the real big one. Like, Low's the one guy that wasn't having too many issues this game from the side of Azure, but, well, now with that death, he kind of just loses that perfect record, and, well, the top tier 2 tower is under attack. Pure is just going to go straight after some more objectives.
Yeah, I like this read from Tundra. Just shut down the map, make it awkward for them to start to find farm, because Bach is going to plant himself bot, so they need control over top. They're not going to find that easily without the tier 2 to fall back to. I believe as well, the quelling was used on the wrong tree.
Low's TP to the top lane. I mean, Wymon's going to go down, but Low's on his own. Stun is out. Teleport in. Low. Can he make it? He'll try to run, and he's going to make it just barely. 100 HP on the Sven. I almost felt like Tundra couldn't believe he just TP'd in like that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could believe that. And they find a nice pick-off on Whitemon, at the least, but they lose tier 2 again. They're going to lose top control. And that's the pivotal one, because you already have bot eaten up by Bach. This is the point where Broodmother can become a little bit of a net worth vacuum in whatever lane she's camping. That will lead to the Orchid. But it'll lead to a bit of a rougher time for Ori and for Low. You're going to have to try to balance it out now. Try to get some gold flowing through, which, again, I don't think Tundra cares about that aspect of this matchup. We don't even see Pure with the morph yet, but once he has that up, again, you just look for Ori, turn into him, then static link Low, and that's your gameplay. Like, there's nothing you can really do about that as a Sven. There's no easy saves. There's the toss away from FY. It doesn't feel great when you're going to have to rely on your Tiny to toss the enemy away from you to really take these fights. That's not a great feeling.
You'd rather not have to rely on that. That's for sure.
No.
Well, Thompson's going for the Gleipnir build-up now on the Prophet. Has the Rod of Atos available, so more lockdown now for the Prophet. Doesn't need to rely on that Sprout any further. I mean, Bach does have that Orchid available, but you just haven't really seen the impact of it at all. Not that you can really blame him, because nobody's really giving him an opportunity to actually abuse that Orchid timing. And of course, right now, you'd really imagine the only person he can kill on his own is probably a support, if that. Everyone else from Tundra just staying off the map, just keeping that farm going, and you've almost got the Phylactery completed here on Pure. So he's just going for the standard Kanda build up to boot.
Yeah, just looking to burst people down. Again, still no point in morph, but again, hasn't needed it. He's just farming, so he can invest heavily into just farming more effectively. There's just no one to contest, no forward vision here from the side of Azure. All their eggs are lined up Bach, where they do have web control with Bach. Might be able to go hunting for Thompson. They have that blink in FY.
Rack. Thompson, they'll toss him back into Ori. Thompson going for a TP up, but Low is going to be there with the stun. A very nice kill onto Thompson. And that's more of what you want to see here for Azure, right? You want to see them initiating these fights.
Yeah, with a blink on FY, that certainly can happen now. That is the timing to allow them to get some play on the map. So you do have to watch out. Again, they're just camping bot. Ramses will bail out in the nick of time here. Whitemon is far enough to be safe. They have managed to take an area of the map that they feel safe in on the side of Azure. I do feel like these wards from the side of Tundra are still going to be a bit of an issue, though. Really sneaky area right below the staircase and near the rune area, so it will watch some rotations cross as Channing.
He's actually quite tanky here on the edge. Mines weren't quite enough, but they've got Thompson coming in, and they've got Ramses right around the corner, and Tianming will end up eventually going down here to the Nature's Prophet. I mean, on the bright side, you are buying space. Like, there's a lot of rotations being made to just take down a position 5 inch. So space is being bought for the catch-up farm of Bach, and of course, keep Low and Ori both escalating. Buck is still very far behind in the net worth department, but with the time he's been given, he should be able to catch up and hopefully start some Broodmother shenanigans.
He can. I mean, all things considered, he's only about 500 gold behind Ramses, so Broodmother is still in the game, although normally you do have a little bit more of a net worth advantage, of course, on the Brood, but it can start to ramp up. Interested in his build as well. He's going Phylactery Conda. So wants to use, maybe just stop at the Phylactery, I think, for the Silken Bowl is slow. Help you kind of just chase down. That is fairly potent. So I like that. I don't know about a Conda though. It's exciting, but unnecessary almost. I guess Spawn Spiderlings could be funny. I mean, it is a lot of damage, to be fair, on Spawn Spiderlings.
It kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
What?
Would be funny. I'd like to see that now. All right, let's go all in. Don't stop at the Phylactery. Go into the Conda. Show us the power of Spawn Spiderlings and the slow with the Silken Bow.
Because you can pop Insatiable Hunger too, increase your base damage by 70%.
Yeah.
And then you can use Conda.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense.
I like this tech from Bach.
Yeah.
See it.
I don't know if it's going to work, but it's a nice way of just throwing spells from a mile away and hoping for the best, right? There's, every 6 seconds you're just going to be throwing these ridiculous kind of spells at people from the webs. Support Broodmother, Jonathan. It's on its way. It's happening.
I don't know about, but maybe in the patch, maybe in that patch, perhaps. Is it about that season in Australia where you get all the webs out from the rain, Mike, or not?
No. It's more like dry season now. It's we're coming to winter, Jonathan. The spiders are going into hiding. We'll see them again soon. Maybe in like 4 or 5 months. Not now.
Makes sense. Maybe the patch will favor it by then as well. So we'll see much more of the Brood, and you'll feel right at home.
Yeah. Thank you, John. What do you think? I mean, if they give innate abilities to each hero, what do you think they're going to give Earth Spirit? Like, he's just going to get an extra boulder or something? Give him an
probably
extra rock?
That's a good point. I don't think about that, Mike. I don't think about dead heroes. Thank you.
My poor Earth Spirit. What have they done to my boy?
He's dead. He's a stone. That's it. That's all he is. Not even a good stone. Like, look at this tiny. This is a good stone. It's a good set of rocks right there. Can pick up trees. He can hit hard. Beat a better rock, Mike.
Yeah, maybe Thompson will pick Earth Spirit next game. You never know.
Mayhaps. Kelsey. For now, Azure again staying in the game by farming rather efficiently. Despite these early losses, they still have a really good ground to just keep farming. But, of course, split push isn't going to be as effective when you're up against the Nature's Prophet. Then again, Thompson can't really clear out the Spiderlings because they just walk through the trees. So it is a double-edged sword.
Thompson? I mean, they're going to try and jump Thompson, but Buck's the one being jumped. Sadly for Buck, he thought he was the hunter, but he is indeed the hunted. And loses all the Spiderlings on top. I mean, you've got to try.
Unfortunate.
You've got to give it a crack, I guess, but doesn't get too far with.
It's a little bit optimistic by a tier 2 teleport point. It's very well protected by Tundra. They just need our supports to come in. Obviously, you don't want to give your NP away. He does buy space. It's all about buying that space for Azure. They're very safe now up top. They know no one's moving around there. They've got room to farm for Ori, room to farm for Lo. BKB for our Sven isn't too far off now as well. So he's going to have some protection up front. Mid tower will just fall to Pured out. And his Conda is set to go once his courier is back up. Bach is stopping at the Phylactery, Mike. So we're not getting the Conda. He's going BKB first. He's going sensible on Bach. No funnies yet. Maybe later.
Maybe. A Tormentor. Looks to be taken here by Azure, right? BKB comes out on Ori to boot. Thing is, Pure's got the full Kanda. He's just in the stash right now. Not rushing to bring it out quite yet. Looks like he's just trying to farm another item in the meantime. This Morphling's just absolutely huge. There's your Gleipnir build up as well now on the Prophet. So Thompson's got a lot of utility now in terms of just holding people down throughout these fights. It'll be very annoying for the Broodmother to try and deal with.
I think the bigger thing is that he'll be able to counteract the split push much better. Gleipnir out the Spiderlings. So you will be able to just stop that from Bach a lot easier because they just walk right through the trees, of course. See another smoke out from Azure, FY, and Ori on the hunt once more. Just need one good blink angle. They even have the Force Staff to help out for FY now. But the side of Tundra are cautious. They do smoke up his tree, though.
But they do. For now, Azure, they're finding absolutely nothing for this smoke.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Thompson's the closest target on the far western side of the map, but he is seemingly aware that they are coming, so he'll rejoin his team now down at the bottom lane. It's like Bach is probably going to be the one that gets hunted again on the Broodmother with the way Tundra are moving. You also have the opportunity to go Roshan. So if you want to just ignore the fight and just go for the Roshan pit, you could. Spiderlings are moving their way to scout out the Roshan pit, but they all just kind of expire and die. And Roshan is officially started now by Ramses and Pure.
Yep. Not going to take too long for this to fall, with Thompson showing up as well. Again, the Spiderlings should be able to find it out. Bach is microing still at the check, but it's not like they can contest or even hope for a deny. No webs, no free padding. No cheeky plays here for Bach. Secondary life up for Pure, and he almost done with a BKB on top of all of that.
Top lane, Night Class going to jump right into the Tormentor. Does purge up Low. Low's going to pop his BKB. Meanwhile, Pure does get that static link off. He does use it onto the Sven and immediately forces the TP away. They will find Tian Ming, the only one that was left behind. In fact, never mind. FY has also been left behind here on the Tiny. He will drop to Thompson. So both supports of Azure go down. I suppose that isn't the worst case scenario, at least for Azure, but the game is certainly not getting any easier as time goes on.
No, certainly not. I mean, I'd say it's pretty bad for Azure. They popped both their fresh BKBs on their cores. So Sven BKB, Razor BKB down to 8 seconds. It's a bit of a window for the side of Tundra to just do what they want. They're still keeping that invasion top. There are wards here from Azure, so they can just dodge out the area. Not that they would be farming there anyway. But Tundra are still in the prime position. Again, not a massive lead for either side. It just feels like Azure was just much more tempo heavy with this Bach Broodmother. And it still doesn't feel like they're able to just camp lane and keep it constantly shoved out. Not with an NP on hand.
Oh, he took a lot of damage. Oh, and he's right into 9 class on Thompson. It's kind of the thing. Like, if you run into that many mines, Thompson's watching. Like, he's waiting to see where you go. It's not too hard to predict the movement.
Oh, not that safe. Nice little pickup now for Tundra. Yeah, they still have Aegis, but doesn't feel like any big opportunities really presenting itself here. We are about to hit the point where Ramses will have his BKB. Just about 1,200 gold away. And once that's up, as he approaches 18 with the disruption illusions, you can kind of just take care of the Broodmother lane without even throwing the NP on top of it. You could just shove in DK illusions all the time, and Bach wouldn't be able to manage that. We'll just get the free siege. Age is still 2.5 minutes up. More than enough time. They are mass TPing here for Thompson.
They do find him. It's a good pickup once again here from Azure. They do obviously have to sacrifice that tier 2 bottom tower for that, but it's probably well worth it because they weren't intending on defending anyway. So take what you can get, take down the Prophet. The thing is that, again, the game is just not getting any easier. Like, you saw that last engagement, Pure just static links to Sven, and you have no choice but to run. FY may get caught in the mid lane now as he does go for a quick avalanche, but Pure's just going to toss him up with the avalanche to set up. FY will at least toss him away and try to go for a bit of a run. Wymon on the chase, FY with the TP out, the blast off. Oh, right on the edge. Good attempt.
Close enough. That does buy, again, more time. Azure, they are banking on that time. They are getting bigger and bigger on low. Going for that full Daedalus on the Sven. So we'll have some damage output. I still don't know if it's going to be enough. As long as Pure can turn into Ori's Razor, it just doesn't feel great. Doesn't feel great at all for Low. Not going to be an easy game. Again, Ags for Ramsey's not too far off. Ori.
Thompson is going to move in onto the Razor. The BKB static link is there. Do they have enough? Not quite. Ori will survive thanks to the static link usage onto Thompson. Meanwhile, mid lane, FY being chased down here, and so was Bark. Pure not going to go any further. He does not have waveform available. But they have a mid tier 2 tower they can focus down here, I think, and I don't really see much in the way of stopping them.
No, there's really nothing to stop them. We've got the Dragon form up. It's not going to take too long with Ramsey's on hand. And Azure just don't have a defense. They don't have that team fight. Smoke out from Tundra on the hunt. They've got a good ward up top. They see FY.
They do. Thompson with the TP in. FY, no idea they're coming. He will find out the hard way, sadly, as of course Ramsey's going to cut him off from the other end, and FY is down. Back to the TPs towards Ori. They are just not stopping here. Tundra all across the map, right onto the Razor. He'll try to Ogre Steel Totem away, but there's just so much damage from Pure. Even Buck showing up there for a second, but thinks better of it. Gets the hell out.
They still have a little bit of time on the Aegis. Will expire in the siege, but they'll find a high ground opening for Tundra. Just like that. Again, it doesn't cost them much at all. Tier 3 gone. Rax doesn't take too long with the damage on Pure and Ramsey's. Ramsey's does have the Ags as well for the next Elder Dragon form usage. No level 18 yet, so it's not as annoying as it could be. But it's still a massive spike. It will be held back with no creep wave. Are some cuts coming in here from Qian Ming. So again, the stall kicks in for Azure, but Tundra is knocking on their doors. And Azure aren't really ready to answer yet. They still need so much more. Hector working onto a Linken's now for Ori. That's the one way to kind of block off this morph, but it just doesn't feel great when you have to go back for that just because your own hero is griefing your carry.
It's pretty rough. Now you've got the level 20 talent on Thompson, so you sprout leashes, which is infuriating to play against, of course.
I love Tundra still from Thompson.
What is
like going for the Revenant's Brooch to kind of just eat through Low, even with a Warcry. I mean, you don't see that item all too often anymore. But in this case, up against the Sven, it makes so much sense. You're not building crit anyway on the NP, so you might as well just to rip through the Sven.
Makes sense. It's a lot of damage. It's going to be a 5-man smoke from Azure. They're going to try for something. Bark's going to show on the mid lane. Lines are being drawn straight through the mid, at least by 9 class, predicting the movement. But Azure actually backing off. They've got waves to address at that top lane. FY will take an outpost back. But yeah, a 5-man smoke that is really only to retreat back towards the base.
They don't have any options in Azure. Map is fairly dark. They only have one ward out, 2 wards outside, 1 down bot, which isn't giving them that much useful info. 1 under triangle, which they can use to farm. And that's basically it. And you're under Tundra's complete control. Roshan will see the respawn in a minute. Whether or not the side of Tundra can get that quick, or if it's something that Azure can contest. I mean, they've got the damage on Low. They even have an amp damage rune. There are some blessings here, and Low does have the light collector, so he does have a break for all of the trees if he is sprouted up by Thompson.
More importantly, Jonathan,
is coming out in neutrals.
Bark is going for the Kanda at the moment. So,
oh yes, finally he's going back for it. Let's see it. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. I don't know if it's enough. I mean, it might be. With that base attack damage increase. We'll see. It doesn't feel like he has the most damage yet. Like, he needs more stats to Universal. But if he gets fat enough, like, say, a Scotty on top, that's where it gets really scary. 9 class. Good scouting.
He's going to go for a run. Azure still hanging around, but start of Tundra there. They're pretty close by. Both teams down at the bottom lane. Qian Ming's really the only one missing. So is Pure, in fact. Azure still grouped up. Nobody's showing underneath their vision in the lane. And Tundra actually just removed themselves from the bottom lane and just start pushing out the top. Azure checking Roshan, but it's still a minute and a half away from respawning, so a little bit unlucky for them. If you are Tundra, of course, there's no intention of giving that Roshan away. But they are very well aware that the Roshan has not spawned yet.
No. And besides, Low gives up, heads up top to fix the lanes, so you don't have your Sven to hit onto the Rosh. All of your damage is kind of gone. Not going to be a very safe objective to take on the respawn. And so I kind of just have to wait out. Maybe the timing works out for them if they start swinging down bot around this time, a minute away. They do have some wards. Again, this laning ward now giving a lot of info out for Azure to plan out their approach. Do have to be very concerned about Pure. He has to pull Butterfly up with that Conda. The blast from Adaptive Strike is going to probably kill you off if you're not careful. Still Azure again playing off the back of this vision. Out with a smoke. Need to find something.
Well, Tundra equipped up as 5 as well, though. Azure, I mean, they're coming. Winner of this fight gets Roshan. It's a very important team fight for both sides. More so for Azure if they want to try and make a comeback in this game 1. Ramsey's going to break the smoke. We'll move in with that Black Dragon form. Bach going to try. We'll have to be popping his BKB to survive the Dragon Tail coming in. We'll move in onto Thompson, but Thompson's got his own BKB and he just mans up against Bach, who just cannot take the damage. He needs to get the hell out of there. Bach is gone. Blown up by Pure and Thompson. They'll try again onto 9 class, but he'll just force stuff down towards the south. Ori is trying to chase down the Shadow Demon, but there's just so much stuff around him. He still tries for 9 class. Maybe he finally gets him, but what's it gonna cost? FY is gone. Ori's TPing out. He'll make it up, but Tian Ming's been left behind now. So it's a 3-for-1 by the looks of it. As Tian Ming will unsuccessfully TP away. Meanwhile, Thompson still chasing down the Sven. Though he doesn't have teleportation any longer, so won't be able to keep up the chase. But Tundra have Roshan.
Yeah, nice and easy Rosh access out for Tundra. They've got the full Revenant Root Shop on Thompson now as well, so he actually does so much damage with the lack of magic resistance here on the side of Azure. No one would build that. No one's going to go Eternal Shroud or Pipe, because are you really going to do that just for techies? No. Another free Roshan for Tundra off the back of that fight. Aegis out for Pure. More protection again.
Ramses.
For
he's going to find Low. Low has been caught out. He'll TP away. A lot of damage coming in from Thompson, but not quite enough. Low's all right.
Yeah. Does cost another BKB charge at the least. Down to 7 seconds now for Low. Again, you're not losing anything on Tundra. In fact, you're eyeing Bach a little bit.
They are. Bach losing half his HP to 1 adaptive strike, and now Bach might actually just be dead. FY going to move in for an avalanche to save. Low going to be there with the war cry, but they really can't do much else than that. Bach is down. Meanwhile, Ramses will move in. They'll find FY. In fact, Low is just getting annihilated. Oh my, Low just being chased all the way. Tian Ming also going down. GG is called, and I think it's probably a very good choice to call that GG, because this game...
And that's way down the line. And catching out Pure is going to be a little bit of a problem as well. The hard hold not going to be there. A lot of tips out for Bach.
Poor old
and
Bach.
the call-outs again.
Why is it Bach? Everyone's just picking on Bach these days. It makes me so sad, Jonathan. He's done nothing wrong. He's such a sweet guy. Why Bach?
Who knows? Who knows? You know, they've been targeting out his heroes. Literally all his heroes gone. He only has a Viper left and Abaddon. Oh no. They're having fun on Tundra at the very least. That's all we know. Epic music this time, Mike. Nothing silly.
Very good. I'll see if Azure can make this one work again. Like, they would at the very least want a tie to keep their chances high here towards those playoffs. You'd rather not have to end up in tiebreakers, but that's probably a high chance at this point for Azure, assuming they can pull off this victory. No level 1 team fight to break out yet. Tundra, they are posturing around the mid lane, but it's just Pure having a look around for a ward.
The battle begins.
FY Copper sticky bomb here from Whitemont. It's going to be another 3-for-1 trade on the bounties as well. By the way, Tundra is once again going to be able to pick up the extra bounty rune for themselves. And as usual, we can start off with that mid lane where you are going to see Topson against Ori on the Storm Spirit versus Prophet matchup. And this feels like a matchup that actually still just favors Topson.
Yeah, I don't think this changes too much. It's maybe a little bit better than the Razor matchup, but because you have a little bit of hold with the Vortex, still not particularly amazing. Ori does start with the Falling Blade this time around at least, so he's not going to be in as much danger as it was last time. But it's funny because last time it was an electric matchup as well, up against Treant with a Razor. It's a little electric teamed, but not. It is better for Ori overall. Like stable farming. I don't know if he's going to go for the Vortex double overload play. You could try to run down Topson, but beyond that, that's the only shift. Maybe some aggression at tree if you find that opening still. We'll see if that develops. Up top, of course, we're taking a look at Pure and Whitemon on the Slark and Techies up against Bach and FY on the Viper Clock. This is the most straightforward lane for Azure. Good front line to block off to allow Bach to get some hits. Level 2, level 3 is going to be really big here for Azure. I'd say level 2, you should try to find something with a Cogs, get the chase down, and see if you can try to get that pressure onto the Slark early.
Not going to be the easiest of deals here. I mean, you've got the Dark Pact ready whenever for that poison attack of Bark. I mean, it's still going to be very, very annoying against the Viper for sure, but Pure should be able to deal with it. Of course, that bottom lane as well, you're going to have Low and Tianming against Ramses and 9 class. It's like another lane where Ramses probably not going to mind the lane matchup too much as the Tide Hunter. I mean, there certainly is a world where you could see some kills happening here for Azure, but as long as 9 class does stick around, it does feel like Ramses should be just fine.
Yeah, could just be. And the Gale is annoying, but the follow-through from Low, it's not the easiest to pull off him. You can try to access him and run him down, but it's still fairly tanky, and Anchor Smash will slow the actual kill process down. 9 class.
Just a casual. Oh,
he got cut.
He did get cut indeed. 9 class, he is down. The try for the mischief dodge, it won't make a difference. Gotta be a little bit careful, 9 class. You can't just jump through the tree line like that.
Yeah, they've got a quelling on Low, of course. And even Tianming has a quelling just in case because of the fear of God from Topson. They are ready for these rotations this time. And again, the damage is starting to pour in. Like you get the levels up, you've got the Poison Sting with the Gale. You've got a little bit more coming out from Low as well, with a Fervor to stack up to help with the chase down. Not the safest time. Again, Ramses doesn't mind. He does have to go for level 2 Kraken. Again, he needs that protection. He needs that hard dispel just in case the Gale is on him and they are chasing hard.
Alright, on top lane. He's going to cop a bit of a Cogs pushback. He'll be alright. The Buck is certainly trying to apply that big pressure now to Pure, but again, he just keeps Dark Pacting off the poison attacks. Make life a little bit challenging here for Bark because he can't really abuse the Viper matchup that much. As long as Pure's got the mana for the Dark Pact, he should be okay. Wymon's also doing a pretty damn good job of just forcing Bark back along with FY, so they aren't really abusing the Viper matchup at all yet.
No, it's just so hard with how Tundra are positioning. Whitemon's not really a very presentable target. You don't have good angles for FY. He's just going to go back for the pull, try to soak up a little bit more, and try to hit that level 3 marker. With level 2 Battery Assault or having the Rocket Flare to help slow down and chase in.
Oh,
one way to go as well.
Oh, Ori getting caught, still in trouble. Got hit by a blood grenade. Going to try and fight back, but no, he is down. So Tianming with a very nice rotation does take down Topson. Might even have 9 class, but not quite. 9 class is all right. Still a very nice rotation from Tianming, at least finding the follow-up kill here onto the Prophet. But in fairness, they did get Ori first, so it is still a pretty damn good trade here for Tundra, assuming you get 9 class out of there. And then sadly for Tianming, he can't really reach for a Gale. So 9 class should be just fine.
Yeah. Some good activity for Tundra. Not the worst thing in the world for Azure finding a trade back, but that will slow down the level 6 for just a tad bit. Still having a slight advantage in terms of EXP, but Topson is working that lane really well. And he's got a little bit more CS flowing in. He's always got this teleportation threat, although it's not lining up as much in this game, considering how much more passive the side lanes are. Ramses also starting to feel that hurt coming in with that level 2 Gale up on Xianming. They are starting to try top, though.
Well, they are going to give it a crack, Pure. Actually, Bach is down already. Topson has TP'd over. Like, they'll get Pure eventually, but it's going to be at a heavy cost again. FY to follow. He will also drop here to Whitemon, and this is kind of the thing. Like, you get the position 1 Slark, but you lose your Viper, you lose your Clockwork. It's just not going to be the greatest of feelings.
No, it certainly isn't. And Topson, again, having all of this activity early is going to lead to a very fast timing in the Orchid, which is your answer for that Storm. Now, we were talking about that lack of hold for Ori. The Orchid is going to be it. And Ori, it's not like you want to queue up a fast ult anyhow on the Storm, so I don't see anything defensive coming out to counteract that early on at the very least for the Storm. They are getting some good pressure onto mid. They've got rune control as well. Nice regen rune for Ori to play with.
Oh, Bach.
It's going to be set to expand the mana for that.
Bach is down again. I mean, FY might at least be able to find Pure, so they may call that worth it, but the problem is Topson's getting all the kills. So that Orchid is going to be coming in a lot faster with all this bonus gold coming in for Topson. And I mean, I just don't know how much emphasis you want to put on killing this Slark over and over again if it's going to cost you a Viper. At least Ori has applied so much pressure in the mid-tier 1 tower, though. So they are getting some nice objectives out of this.
That they are. Again, I like this read from Azure. Just hug mid, open up the map a little bit more, check the triangle. No, there is one small stack being made on the medium camp, so can try to snipe that later on, and they can get this opening to rotate bot. Again, this has not been the easiest time for Ramses. He actually goes 0-3-3 at 6, not even a Ravage. So he's a sitting duck if they commit. Are just going for the Wisdom Runes on Azure. Oh.
Bit of a fight to break out. Whitemon unable to steal it away. Ori was able to take the other Wisdom Rune, and Night Class is already down. Whitemon looking dead as well. Bach will be able to secure that kill, so a pretty big advantage now for Azure as they do find both Wisdom Runes.
Again, 9 class just getting his tree cut once more after using the Boundless. It's not the easiest time for our Monkey and Tide, honestly, have been suffering. Ramses is still alive and farming, but he's never at a healthy HP. Again, no Ravage on the Tide, expecting a slower game. They'll try top.
They will give it a crack at Bach again. Bach trying to run. Nature's Wrath will fly through, and Bach is down. FY now being pounced on here by Pure. Should be another target to drop. Though he does get a cogs off, and the Sprout from top kind of messes them up a little bit.
Go on the hunt.
They still haven't looked. TP in. FY not out of the woods yet either. He's gone. Topson will get him eventually. No problem.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And I'm still concerned about how much Topson's finding. This Orchid is still going to be really damn fast. And again, Ori's going for the Kaya, which you tend to do on the Storm. So no Euls, no protection. That's going to be the next target on their hit list here for Tundra. They will get a nice shove in onto that top. Again, the one big thing is that there's no relief for Ramses. Does manage to reset, but this is free farm for low so far. Battle Fury is a slower build-up. They are starting to commit top here.
Do they have a stun? Oh, they do not. FY not at level 6 yet, sadly. Almost there, but not quite. So no way to stop the TP out from Topson. And now he's very close to that Orca. Just needs the cornucopia. We'll have it up pretty damn soon. Meanwhile, 9 class is being chased again. Xianming gonna find him. Ori gonna zip in, and that should be 9 class down. Ori will happily take the kill for himself.
Yep. Nice little pickup. Again, feeding into the Storm as well. Ori's Kaya timing not gonna be too far off after a little bit of a slower lane again into the NP. Not the best feeling in the world there. You are starting to find a little bit of that early ramp. This is going to start to really collapse once you've got 6 on FY, which he does have. So they've got the hook shot and the zip in for the side of Azure to keep that tempo up. Let's see though, Tundra are smoked up with their supports here.
I mean, heading down bottom, they'd love to find that Troll Warlord. Low's been freely farming practically the whole game. He's been having a great time. 9 class, Boundless is going to be there. They have got the Ravage if necessary. Lowe's going to pop the Battle Trance, and well, they have got him in really low HP, and with all the disarms out from Whitemon, there is really no fighting. So they'll pop the Ravage just in case to secure the kill. So they do lose Ramses in the process, and now FY, he's going to find 9 class. The MK also caught out. Azure is successfully able to at least counter-attack and find a 2-for-1.
We managed to get some trades. It's still a big loss to lose out on low. Again, this troll, it has had a free lane, but still needs a Battle Fury to really ramp up, and Ramses has just made it pretty painful in that lane, despite, again, not getting as much himself. The Anchor Smash slows down your farm progress. They even get some early activity up from Pure, already 2 stacks of permanent Agi up from all of the action up top. And again, you hit critical mass on Tundra, you've got the Orchid on Thompson. So next time around, Ori shows his face. Not going to say the safest of times there. And good isolation out, good punishment from Azure, but losing your troll, it's still a little bit scary. They need a lot more on low to start to feel comfy here. Tundra, for their part, kind of wants to see that activity from Thompson now with that Orchid. See if he finds the space to do so. I mean, overall, they have been playing relatively safe with Ori, although they will smoke out now, Ori and Chanming.
They will. Mid lane, they're looking at Ramses again. Get forward from Ori. There's no T1 tower to TP2 to help Ramses out with this. And with Buck around, he will be in pretty massive danger. But Thompson, he's going to try and trade it. Ori goes down. Thompson, TP out. Does he make it? Oh, he does. Oh, that's just horrible to see if you're an Azure fan. The Pure does get caught. That'll be a great pickoff if they can get it. FY's trying to body block him up while Buck does get back to work and Pure is down. Azure fighting some great kills here. Does cost them Ori. 9 class going to jump back in onto Buck. Mines down from Whitemon, locking down the Viper. The Buck is still alive as here comes Tom. They've got Buck down. They're onto FY now. FY trying his best to fight back and just survive the onslaught of Thompson. Ramsey's moving back in as well. And somehow FY's actually gotten out of it. They kind of just left him alone.
Now, Thompson opts to push himself out to the trees. You're overall, again, somewhat happy. You already lost Pure. You were going to lose Pierce. They are still chasing for a little bit more, but again, everyone has Quelling Blades in this match. No one wants to be trapped in the trees. Everyone but Ori, but he can zip out, so that does make sense. 12-10, Azure, much more active in this game. Again, good corrections on the draft to have that activity. Just this launching point off the back of Ori has been big, but with the Orchid reveal, he should know something defensive has to come out after this Kaya. He cannot afford to just go all in on offense. There has to be one save on hand to stop Thompson from this onslaught.
And at least Low is farming very well here on the Troll. The Battle Fury is on the way for the Troll Warlord, so he's going to be very, very happy as Bark, Pure. He's going to get jumped here by FY with the hook. Pure trying to Dark Pact all the damage off. Does get there. Is now FY going to be in a spot of danger because Whitemon's made the jump in, and here comes Thompson. They're onto the Viper again. Bark is gone. FY has been caught by a Boundless. He's also looking very dead though. Ori going to try and at least trade Thompson's life with all of this, but Ori needs to be careful because he's out of mana. He'll zip out of there just barely as he does take Thompson's life. It's going to be a 2-for-1 special, but they do lose Thompson.
It's a much bigger win for Azure overall, getting that streak onto Ori as well. It's a huge gold swing just for the Storm, 700 gold coming his way off the back of that. So, going to be very pleased on Ori. Can start to plan ahead for some saves from that Orchid. Tundra, for their part, they still find more heroes for their side. Still, it is costly. They will keep going, though. Whitemon and Night Class looking again.
Well, they'll use the Twin Gates up towards the top lane. I mean, Low is around. They seem like they might be going for that Wisdom Rune, just try to snag that away, but Low's already picked it up. And 9 class immediately just thinks better of going, though they are still thinking about it. Here comes Thompson again. Silence is out, Low is locked down, and Low is down. As long as Thompson comes in with the Orchid, there's nothing Low can do.
No, it's a hard one. You've got the reactive taser disarms. You can't even just try to fight back. Can't pop your ult. And just clean up. All this pressure on low has been slowing down the troll significantly. Again, he has the battle fury. He wants to just really farm up. Doesn't feel like anywhere is safe. Good forward vision planted out by the side of Azure. Very early on to just keep that control in that area. They do have some more protection here for Azure though. They've got the full mech coming out for Tianming. So a little bit more to stay true from the onslaught. And again, it's a straight BKB rush for Ori as well. I like that read. Just understands there's way too much to kill him off. Orchid's just causing massive issues. Might as well just go for the BKB just to save yourself from an odd ravage or two as well from Ramses. I want to see Azure just buy space for low. Force these fights across the map. They've been doing great when they have managed to get these pickoffs. And if Azure don't and Tundra are allowed to have the space to go hunting, it will always be onto low. And it will always be the troll in the firing line. And again, not the scenario you want to find yourself in.
Mid lane, pretty big group up here from Azure. My class is actually going to pop the Wukong's command, hoping for the power rune to spawn down bottom, but it's actually up top. So nobody will get a power rune around this area. It is just an invis anyway, but they are still trying to move in. As now the hook shot, 9 class will go down. So they do find the Monkey King once again off the back of FY's hook. And Ori does find the power. So happy days for Azure.
Yeah, they're playing their cards right. They just kind of dance around the monkey. There's no setup to keep everyone in the Wukongs. Even if they were, it's not a lot of damage. No points in the Jingu for our support monkey, of course. So there's no real threat. And just being twacked away. And Azure, despite getting a few more kills, they are slightly behind. Not a massive amount. Pure.
Yeah, Pure's going to end up finding this Venomancer. That'll be Tianming to go down. Bit of free agi here for Pure. Pure definitely needs the kills. I mean, he was falling a little bit behind after that laning stage because he was starting to die to the ganks from Azure, but now he has found himself sitting in 3rd place on the net worth as Whitemon bottom lane will also end up going down. Azure able to find another one here for low. The net worth differential is only about 450 gold between low and Pure at the moment. So things are pretty close between these two teams. The thing is, low is still going to be a sitting duck up until he gets something like the BKB up. So it does still need to be a little bit wary of the movements from Thompson.
Yeah, still has to watch it. And they still have that good forward ward on the side of Tundra watching around the Wisdom Rune, but not much beyond that. Maybe a little bit of vision here in the bot jungle, but they don't really have control in the areas in as much as they'd want it. They are about to hit a major power spike now for Pure. The Ags is almost done. Off the back of this camp should be ready. And with the secondary jump and a little bit of added range, you can start to really line up your shots here on the side of Tundra. BKB for Thompson's a little bit further away. You will have another big tool here for Ramses with the Ag Shard. That anchor is going to cause some trouble for Ori. And again, he's going to have BKB, but it's just more hole to help pin down these targets.
Well, mid lane, they've got Bark. And Bark is a pretty big sitting duck here to Pure's damage output. Now Pure has the full Aghanim Scepter up and is suddenly looking a lot stronger as bottom lane. They do make the jump onto Thompson. This would be a great kill if they can get it. But Thompson, he survives the initial initiation. FY is still going here against Thompson, but he will die. FY will not survive. And the chase is on now for Ori, who's out of mana. Pounces back up for Pure. He'll land it perfectly onto the Storm. There's really not too much Ori can do about it. He is gone.
Oh, that is not what you want to see for Azure. And that's a great Ags reveal for Pure. Buying it out, instantly getting some investment back in getting these kills. And Tundra widen that lead up to 3K now. They are hunting for more.
Tianming. Oh, nice free
not
shot.
Another 3 cut.
And 9 class. Caught out again. Does go down to a nice freebie here for Azure. They'll chase for a little bit more, trying to find Whitemon, but he will just be able to TP up. Whitemon is perfectly fine. Azure is still finding some collateral kills here, so it's not too... Ooh, they might find Pure, in fact. But no, Pure just pounces away. So not too much you can do about that.
No. Can't really put the stop on that. that same move they did on Thompson earlier is not going to pan out for that much longer. BKB, not going to take too long. And the side of Azure, well, the investment low is paying off. He's got the Manta, he's rushing Ags. Manta at the very least will save him from the Orchid. It's not going to save him out from that dead in the water anchor and the pounce though. So there are still tools here for Tundra to spread that control out. And the great thing for Tundra in these team fights is that they haven't even had to go back for the Ravage from Ramses. Right? It's not even been necessary. It's been a series of pickoffs leading to more pickoffs so far. So they still have their ace in the hole there. Force some added control if need be, which hasn't really presented itself just yet in this match. Azure, I think the biggest pain point again is just box hero. Like this Viper is not achieving much for the side of Azure, barely above the net worth of Sean Ming. That's how slow this game has been for Bach. Just 700 gold above his own support. Sean Ming's getting a lot more than you'd expect on the Veno. Of course, he's nowhere near an additional utility like say the Ags. So a little bit of a pipe here on that, but a Force Staff, a Glimmer Cape can start to buy some space out. And again, it's just Bach, he can get big. Right, again, there's like a 25 talent, become universal. He's got the Manta he can go into. He has a BKB he could always pick up as well, but there's just not enough space to get him up and running along with Ori and Low safely. It feels like he is going to get the short end of the stick here.
Line class. Like bottom lane. Hyper Strike committed there onto Pure, but he's just going to be able to pop the Shadow Dance and run. Azure still on the chase, 2 supports smoked up. Seeing if they can find anyone else, but everyone from Tundra has successfully retreated. When they are drawing lines out into that dire triangle, but not really well advised to run in there like that without vision. It's kind of hard for Azure. Like you've got Roshan to play for if you really want to try and force a fight right now. You can certainly take it with this troll walled around, but it seems as though they're just more than happy buying Low more time to build up the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah. It feels so risky when you have to worry about like a Ravage from Ramses. He's inching towards that Blink Dagger as well. Just a very tight, confined area where it's not the safest. They'll get the D ward off with Purest passive. So no extra reach to set up for that Roshan now on the side of Azure. But they are still hugging that general area. And for the side of Tundra, full BKB up on Thompson now. He's going to be feeling safe and secure in these fights. There's that blink that we were mentioning for Ramses, already done. So some more initiation angles that they can play with. Shard for Pure as well. Going to be a massive issue with the Death Shroud saves. You have some AoE on the side of Azure, but not that much. Like it's actually mainly on what? FY? Maybe if you want to count Gale through that, can be something that comes in as well. I would like to see Ori pick up something like the Ags. He's just going back for the Witchblade for now. A little bit more damage, a little bit more sustain on the mana pool. But it does feel necessary to look for wider AoE control, especially as the reality of that shard comes in here for Pure. We'll want to hold, at least group them together on side of Tundra and try to prevent that.
Daedalus being formed up here on top, so he'll have that relatively soon. So he might actually run into Ori as well. Pure's going to join in. Ori's going to show himself on a creep wave. This could be a real problem for him as they do not land the pounce. Sadly, the pounce a little bit off the mark. Ramsey's now trying to have a look for the storm, but can't find him either. Ori just zipping right back to that triangle. BKB now up on the top.
I like that shift for Low. Instead of going for the Ags, just have some more protection beyond just the Manta. I mean, Ravage is a threat, Dead in the Water is a threat. This kind of negates all of that at the least, so he can play. Tundra are smoked up, and they still have Ravage. Roche is the target now for Low.
We're not going to try for this one. There is going to be a 5-man smoke from Tundra. Roshan's still pretty damn low. They have made the jump in onto Tianming, so Tianming will go down before the fight really even starts, though he's actually still alive, gets to the high ground, and he's made it out. Tian Ming's on the high ground of the Twin Gates. Ravage has been popped. They're going to try for Low. Low in a bit of danger. May lose the first life already. Still surviving for now, but not for long. He has died the first time. Barker's also gone down in the middle of all this. Thompson did find him. Is Low now. Going to try and go for the fight. Has his BKB available if he needs to pop it, and does do so now. Moving on to Thompson. Here comes Ori as well. Pure going to jump in. They're all fighting right by the Roshan pit. They're very, very tight situation for them. Is Low still going. Pure manning up. Takes him down. Onto Ori they go, or rather onto FY, who holds them in the cogs. Ori getting pretty deep. Ori will drop, but it's still a 3-for-4 trade in the favor of Azure. As 9class is trying to TP out. Does he make it? He does. What a messy engagement.
And it works out in the favor of Tundra, despite them dropping way more. Very clutch usage of that Depth Shroud in such a tight spot. Again, that's what saves Tops, and that's what gives them a little bit more of extra damage in that follow-through fight. And for the side of Azure, it felt like a good start. It was very split up. You know, the rear, the supports did manage to save each other in the rear at that gate for a little bit longer, but when it came down to actually going in the fight, sure, Ravage fell a little bit short. They did manage to isolate away Low. That is the one shortcoming to that troll, of course, just how kiteable it is. And in this area, with the Depth Shroud coming right in the right spot, it's just a little bit too much there to contend with. They had the right ideas, though. I love that Ori was just hanging back, willing to give away that first Aegis life, coming back in, trying to clean up. It's just that it was way too prolonged. If Pure wasn't that low, he would have wrecked them all with Essence Shift. Like, he would have been very, very hard to run away from on that floor.
Things are getting rather spicy here for this game too. We've got a 1k advantage for Tundra. Win probability sitting at 60% for Azure, so they are sitting in the lead here as mid lane. A smoke up behind Ori now.
Radiant
Run right into Ramses. FY not seeing him quite yet though. Ramses narrowly avoiding the vision of Azure.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'll take that.
Well, my class could get caught here. FY gonna run right into him in a moment. Again, narrowly avoiding the smoke rotation here from Azure, though FY seems to know he's around here somewhere.
Is under attack.
My class, not gonna be an easy target to catch. He'll be just fine. Thompson was spotted.
Radiant
That'll be a
is
big
scanning.
one. Gale will connect Thompson. Completely surrounded here. Really has no real gameplay apart from BKB TP, but he doesn't have a TP available right now, so he's going to fight. Both TPs were on cooldown, so Thompson could not even try to TP away. Not that it really would have made a difference anyway. As Azure now onto the T2 top tower.
And again, they can get the siege off so damn fast with a troll. Just leave it at the tower and we'll get work done. Tier 2 just gone like that. They're trying to trade on Tundra. Pure might be able to work bot, but it's not as fast of a process here for our Slark, as they will jump back in.
Onto the storm they go. Ori's going to pop his BKB, trying to get away, and he will be just fine. It seems like Tundra are now in a position where they're just going to have to sit back for a little bit, because Low's got into a stage where he's just huge on this troll. 4k in the bank account, just waiting to see what he's going to spend it on. Could always go back for the Ags that he initially wanted. Would make life very, very hard for Tundra. 9class in the meantime. Looks like he's being chased by FY, who does cancel the TP successfully. So 9class not going to be successful in being able to take down that creep wave, and does give his life away. Tundra at least going to be able to find a tier 2 tower down at that bottom lane while that's happening. So they still find themselves a bit of an objective for that.
They open up the map a little bit more. I don't think Azure minds too much. Again, they're getting control up top. They've got some good aggressive vision set up on Azure, right on top of the mines, and right around the cliff by the tier 2. So they can look to play off of that info quite well. Where the side of Tundra, it's a little bit darker. And you will, again,
Tower
start
is
to
under attack.
need more items. We're getting the BKB out for Pure into the Scotty. Thompson trying to go for the Shadow Blade to kind of phase in and out of these fights. Ramsey's just going back for durability with that full Shiva's Guard into the BKB. Does buy the plate mail out first, so going to be fairly secure at the least. Not going to melt as fast low. I think the thing for Azure is as long as they can kind of keep these fights very scattered out, again, play pick-offs, their lineup can shine. Tundra are sort of reliant on getting wider team fights, prolonged team fights going with the Slark. A fast fight with just pick-offs does not work in their favor at all.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The bottom. Get a bit of a D ward here. Ori and Tianming going to be able to successfully walk away. You've got the Ags now up on FY, so he's going to start with the rocket flare spam immediately. There's no hesitation in trying to get that information out for his team. BKB now up on Pure as well, so he's got some nice defense available on the Slark. And I think Low's still going to be a huge issue now, as Low's going right into a basher right after the Satanic. 9 class, he's going to reveal he is around the area, just chucks out a cheeky boundless strike, but that's going to be about it. Low's whole team is smoked right behind him. They will have a look around to see if they can find anybody. See, understand how powerful they are right now on the side of Azure. 9 class, spotted. Hook is on the mark. FY's got him. Pure is going to save with the shards though. The 9 class will survive the initial onslaught here as they do catch the clockwork. FY will go down. Low has started to move on to Thompson though. Thompson taking so much damage. He is down.
God.
Pure in trouble as well. Pops the Shadow Dance, but is still just being chased down. Blocks the pounce here with the body of the troll. And Pure just melts the Low. Ramsey's in 9 class, still trying to be a little bit defensive here and get the hell out, but it's not looking good. Tips out for Thompson. And Ramsey's should eventually tie his Low. Actually pops the battle trap.
Just to ensure that kill comes out, they need to find those big
Dire's
ones.
middle tower is
9
under
class trying to be
attack.
cheeky, staying around by the mines, but not going to be chased down for too long. Not enough damage there to really burst anything down, unfortunately, either, although still not safe.
And 9 class. Well, he does at least get Tianming on the way out, but he is certainly going out. He's now Low onto the high ground, onto that tier 3 tower. Does get the one.
Tower has fallen.
Yeah, it's just such a quick process for the troll, of course. Again, a really strong fight for Azure. Tundra are just not able to start these fights that well. Again, it's all about these pickoffs. You jump in with Clockwork Storm. It's just that easy for Azure. No clean angles for Ramsey's to look for the Ravage. Buyback will force them back. Respawns are fairly short as well. So it's only the 1 Rax for now going the way of Azure.
He gets a claim onto Bark. Topster will TP in. Seems like Bark's going to be left behind. I mean, you already got the mid-rack, so considering the buyback was committed, you're more than happy to just retreat and only allow them the 1 kill. And Tundra, I mean, they are in dire straits at the moment. It's looking a lot harder for them to try and make this game number 2 happen. Like, just Low seems kind of uncontrollable at this stage. Just Fly just committing a hookshot to try and get away here from 9 class and Pure. But it is really going to be a matter of how do you control Low in these fights.
Almost feels like you want to see a halberd come out in someone. It's just there's no easy carrier for that. Thompson could have gone for some utility instead. Again, was going for the Shadow Blade to try to weave in and out of these fights. Does have that at least up. Roshan, the next flashpoint here, half a minute until the respawn. There's a good angle for Azure to find, but Tundra will try to make a smoke play out. And they still have Ravage ready on Ramses. They just need to hammer in this teamfight control. Try to isolate the softer targets and back. Maybe honestly killing off FY or Tianming already feels pretty big. Taking away a lot of their damage and holds. If you can start to find something here, Tundra.
They're having a look. Jump is there, Pure. Already popping that Shadow Dance. Will move on to Low, but needs to back out once again. Low now rushing right towards Tundra. Looking for a big fight. They'll go on a Pure. Pure still just in the tree line, but a lot of vision being provided now, of course, by FY and the rocket flare usage. Pure still just trying to get away from low, but here comes Ori catching him mid-pounce, and Pure is down.
Oh,
Not
God.
reacting quick enough. Onto Ramses. Ramses forced to ravage, but is just gone. They do get the support backline, but can Tundra get everyone else out of there? Thompson's been left. He'll BKB away. Low's gonna pop the battle trance.
Oh.
No, he can't get him. Unfortunate.
It still works out in a big way here for the side of Azure. They only lose their supports. You lose your big cores on Tundra. You pop Ravage as well. Roshan's open. They're going to be able to get to that objective now on Azure with no contest. And again, with low on hand, this does not take long. Aegis and Cheese to go the way of Azure, opening up the high ground. There is still the bot lane relatively intact for Tundra, but they could just look for top into the end game here if they still wished on side of Azure. For Tundra, again, these fights are just a little bit too fragmented. They're jumping in, they're forced to retreat with Pure. There's no reinitiate angle for Ramses until the end of that fight. And there's just no easy team fight presenting itself. Azure are just able to stay disciplined, stay split apart, leverage this mobility on the Storm and the Clock. And the side of Tundra, their options are shrinking. And Thompson's trying to go back for the Blood Torrent. A little bit more damage coming out for him. It's just, I don't know if you're lacking damage. It just feels like you need control. Yeah, you kind of have to step up to the plate and try to hope for a big Ravage somehow.
Like you do. Low's gonna go ahead and take care of that bottom tier 2 tower. Double siege creeps as well. Gonna make this a very fast tier 3 tower to be taken down. Of course, Bark has a chance to boot, even picking up the Ags now. That nosedive available. The bottom rack's just not gonna last whatsoever here for Tundra. So 2 racks is down now as Tundra. They've got 1 left. Pure. Oh, hook. Barely off the mark. Ori's still having a look around. Pure does pounce towards the east and looks like he is okay. Ori running a little bit too low on mana to chase, but they'll hand him over a cheese in case he needs it. It doesn't seem like Azure want to back out. I mean, just set up on the map, start pressuring that top lane, and try and go for those mega creeps up.
Yeah, not too much for them to wait out for. Lol. This is a hard one.
Hello. Does get caught. Has this BKB ready whenever. Pure's actually going to go for the chase. I'm not sure about this from Pure. The whole squad of Azure is right there ready to go, though they are all a bit low on mana. These Ori and Bark are. So they'll avoid the fight for now. They're up towards that top lane, and they do have a creep wave in the base of the Dire, so they just want to force Tundra to come back and defend. Why fight when you can just go after the objectives? Just force them to you. Before being forced out, they have now Thompson. He sneaks up from the back, immediately going down. Xiangming will hang out the tips immediately here. Thompson, he's been stunned, or rather slowed up here by Bark. He's going to be alright for now, but Low is right on top. He'll get the Sprout down and push him away. Meanwhile, they do find Xiangming on the backside, although Ori is going to find Whitemon. And now, I mean, Pure just trying to go for the fight against Low, but really cannot do it as a Slark. There's your Ravage up from Ramses, only connected on Ori. He will eat the cheese, he'll zip right back in onto Thompson, looking for the dieback on the Prophet. Thompson is down. Thompson is gone. And this is looking like this is game over here for game 2 of Tundra. 9 class will drop. Ramsey's trapped up here by Low. Ramsey's still trying to get out of there. More tips flying out between Xiangming and Thompson. And that's it. I mean, no buybacks available. They'll have to call GG. And Azure, they do manage to successfully tie this.